Good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us for our version 67 features demo. We're really excited to have you. Before we get started, we'll take care of just a few housekeeping items. So all of your phones and microphones are muted. If you have any questions, myself and one of my favorite ClubExpress teammates, Devin, will be hanging out in the chat to answer any questions that you have about the features that we'll talk about in today's release. So if you have questions, use the same chat window that you may have entered the club that you're joining us from. A recording of this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel before the end of the week. So if you aren't able to stay for the whole thing, or if you want to share it with other members of your team, you'll be able to do that. And while you are looking for a copy of today's webinar, you can look for other webinars and upcoming webinars and other tutorials by visiting our Cool Stuff page. Go to clubexpress.com. Look for Cool Stuff in the menu. You can view our webinar schedule, register for upcoming webinars, and view all of our past webinar recordings. You can also view all of our video tutorials. Our video tutorials cover the same topics, but are a little shorter if you're a little strapped for time. So check those out. You can have access to those. And while you're on our YouTube channel, taking a look at all of our wonderful tutorials, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It isn't so we just get new subscribers. It's so you get updated every time we post a new webinar or tutorial on our channel. And with that being said, I'll pass it over to Dan and he'll introduce some of the features that we'll talk about today.
There we go. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan. I'm the president of ClubExpress, I guess, or the business unit manager now within Lumiverse. We're very excited to show you some of the features in ClubExpress version 67. It's also an interesting conjunction right now. Easter starts this weekend, Good Friday this weekend. Passover starts tonight. I was speaking to one of my co-workers yesterday, and I guess the Indian festival of Holi is also about now, and Ramadan is going on or just about to finish. So, happy holidays there to everyone. So we announced version 67 last Thursday on the 31st of March. This is the longest break we've had between versions in the history of ClubExpress, but we've really been working very hard on a number of projects. Most of the features in this version have been deployed and the help system and manuals updated. The one thing that's not been deployed yet, it's still in testing, is the new Task Manager module, which I'll be showing you in just a moment. We're going to talk about the mobile app version 2, which is a major upgrade with some really powerful new features, a number of changes in modules, and various other enhancements. So mobile app version 2 has a completely revamped user interface. There's a custom app menu, the Your Info menu. Probably the major feature is direct messaging between members and groups of members. We also have in-app notifications, improved management for channels, the Remember Me function, and the profile interface. So I'm going to turn it over to Sam, and she's going to give you a demo of these new features in the mobile app, and then I'll take over after that, and we'll go through the other features.
And I'm confirming that everyone is seeing my screen currently. So I am in our newly updated mobile app right now. And right away, you'll likely notice that there are a lot of fresh features to the interface. So at the very bottom, where you might be used to seeing one of two in-app menus, now you're seeing more condensed quick access menus. So at the very bottom of my home screen and across all screens, I can see that I'm scrolling through the same website that I would be visiting on my desktop. On the right-hand side of that quick access menu is a lot of information that you would, again, be used to seeing in multiple icons across the mobile app. So we've moved a lot of information, including privacy information and the mobile profile, into your info. So you have a whole mobile profile menu that you can access. If your organization's using virtual membership cards, you can download them right from the mobile app. This is also where your members would access their profile through the mobile app. So if I select Edit Profile Settings, I can navigate to my member profile, edit my member information, and I can also edit my mobile app information right from my mobile profile in my app. I can edit my channel memberships. I can change my mobile profile, including my avatar and my default channel that I'm using when I open up the app each time. Now, speaking of channels, at the bottom in my quick access menu, I can pop into my channels menu, and now each of our channels has this really great icon that admins can add when they're configuring those channels. I get a green indicator dot letting me know which channel I'm currently in. And if I select a new channel, at the top of every screen, I can confirm the channel that I'm in when I'm switching between applications. Now, at the very bottom, I have that quick access menu, but at the top left corner, I have this great hamburger menu that's going to open up not just the full website menu underneath that separator bar, but at the top, we also have a quick access mobile menu configured by admins to quickly direct your members to some of those really special in-app features like Meets and Chat. So if I select chat, for example, that's our live chat feature that's channel-based. So because I selected that fly-ins chat, I'm currently looking at the live chat for fly-ins. Now, if I select another channel, if I select all members, automatically my chat changes. And when I go back into home and I select my menu, each of the remaining functions that are channel-based are also filtered by that channel. That includes Meets, my event calendar, and polls. And all of the functions in the app will, again, function the same way. Your event calendar is going to function the same way. Members can sign up, register for events, and even pay for them all in the mobile app. Now, those are all of the features that are built in. We have additional features like Meets. Meets hasn't changed. Meets is our meetup tool that you can use to share your location with other members in your channel and meet up with them in person. Now, some of the other options that you'll see at the bottom highlight some of our brand new features. If I select a notification bell at the bottom of my screen, I can see all of my notifications coming from the app, from my organization, and I can also see all of my direct message requests. Now, the notifications that are coming from the app are in-app notifications that administrators can send from their site, and we'll take a look at that in just a minute. They can send these in-app notifications to anyone who has downloaded the app, logged in successfully, and enabled notifications. And they can all include links that'll take us to that specific item. So we can link to events. Now, these notifications will pop up on the user's device the same way any other notification would, and they can access their history by going back into the app. Now, to the right of that, we have our messages icon. This links us to our message inbox, and this is your direct messaging feature that is a brand new feature to the mobile app. Now, to use direct messaging, your members will need to have downloaded the app and successfully logged into the app in order to use direct messaging. So after they've done that, they'll be able to access direct messaging from their member profile on the desktop site. But that first initial message has to happen through the mobile app. So if you're using the mobile app and you want your members to be able to take advantage of direct messaging, remember to make sure that they've downloaded that mobile app. Now, when I'm in my message inbox, I can see a lot of different things. I see conversations, I see message requests that I've sent other people because you can't just message another member. You have to request to send that person a message. At the bottom of my screen, I can even see past message requests that I've received, message requests that I've sent, even folks that I may have blocked when they sent me a message request. Going back to my inbox, each of these conversations is a live conversation. So when I pop into one of my chats, say a chat that I have with Martin Smith, I can see through the chat history that I accepted a request and we can chat back and forth with each other. And I can say, how was the event last night? And as we're going through the chat, at the very top of my screen, I can see a little star next to Martin's name to let me know that he's the one who started that chat. And when I tap on any of Martin's messages, I see a little menu at the bottom of my screen here now. If you have used our live chat feature before, you know that you have the ability to report messages the same way that you would in most chat features. You can report those messages to an administrator. In direct messaging, your messages are private. So administrators won't be able to see direct messages happening between one or more members. They would, of course, be able to see those live chat messages. But in the case of direct messages, if I choose to report and hide a message, the message, I get a separate pop-up window asking for a reason to report the message, and the message gets moved into my reported messages, but it does not get sent to an administrator. So since I moved that message, let me go back into my inbox. And at the very bottom, I can see that I have a section for reported messages right next to my deleted conversations. And I can see not just messages that I've reported, but messages of my own that may have been reported by other members. And I can restore that message at the same time. In addition to being able to report and hide those messages, I can also react to those messages as well. And we also have the ability to create group conversations. So in addition to being able to message one or more members, you can message a group as well. Now at the very top, instead of having multiple people listed, I have an entire group that I've renamed. So I've messaged a couple of members, and then I went over to my group message contact edit, and I've renamed that entire group so that when it appears in my inbox, I know exactly who I'm talking to. Now going back into my inbox, let me exit out of this. Going back into my inbox, in addition to your standard messages that you might be sending back and forth, it's important to know, again, that if you're messaging other members that may not necessarily have the app downloaded just yet, you'll have to wait until they do. So when you're creating a message, I can see anyone that I've already established contact with, anyone that I may have already sent a message request to, or someone that sent a message request to me that I accepted. I can choose individual contacts. I can choose multiple contacts as well. And at the very top, I can choose a brand new member that I haven't yet established contact with. But again, you're going to need to make sure that that member has downloaded the mobile app. So once we look for a member in our database, we'll go ahead and select someone here. And so now I'm going to send a brand new message request. I'll go ahead and save that. And it'll get saved in the list of message requests that I'm waiting for different people to accept. I can remove those message requests and send them again, but until they've accepted them, I can't continue to message those folks. We'll go back into our demo site and we'll talk about some of the admin features included in the mobile app. And I'll switch my screens here. All right. So now we're back on our demo site, signed in not as a member, but as an administrator, as Martin Smith. And we're going to take a look at just some of the admin sides of our features that we've included in our mobile app release. I'm going to head into the control panel. And the first thing that I want to take a look at is our in-app notification option under our communications tab. So if you are using the mobile app, you'll have access to in-app notifications. And when we visit that option, it looks strikingly similar to emailing and text messaging. They use a lot of the same features. In fact, they share categories and distribution lists. So if you've already set up categories and distribution lists that you use heavily in those features, you'll be able to use them with your in-app notifications too. With all of your notifications, you can see whether or not they've been sent, scheduled for delivery. Of course, you can schedule notifications for delayed delivery, just like you can with text messages and emailings. Our title, who sent it, who those notifications were sent to, if they were categorized, and of course, our maintain options where you can view results, you can view the notification, and you can make copies of the notification. At the top, when we select add notification, we get that familiar screen, again, looking really similar to text messaging or even emailing, where you're editing your distribution list in the same way that you normally would, choosing from different categories that we have across the site. You enter in your title, which is something that your members will see in the header of your notification, categorize it, and you can even include links. So when your members navigate to the notification, it'll take them to that notification screen in the app, and they'll be able to select the link to events that you have included in that. news articles, blog posts, or even volunteering opportunities. Now, at the top of our screen, we see that we also have this bad devices option. So you might be familiar with your bad emails or bad mobile numbers options where you're tracking communication issues that your members might be receiving. So I mentioned that in order to participate in some of the features with the mobile app, you have to have the mobile app downloaded and successfully logged in. Now, in order to receive notifications, your members will need to make sure that they're allowing notifications, and you can check on the status by visiting that bad device list, just to see if there are devices that happen to appear there more often than others. Suggestions for fixing notification problems that your members might be experiencing within the app would be to ask them to delete the app, download the app again, sign in, and enable notifications. Now, in addition to your in-app notifications, we also touched on we touched on our new mobile app menu. So in addition to the quick access menu at the bottom of the screen where members are able to access their notifications, their member profile on mobile, perhaps downloading their membership card, they can access direct messaging. They have access to your full website menu in addition to a special mobile app menu. I'll select menus, and you'll see a new option if you scroll down past your main menu and your submenus to your mobile app menu. So with your mobile app menu, if I select that, I'm adding items to my menu in the same way that I normally would for any additional submenu or any menu that I might want to use. I add the items to my menu, and once I save my changes, I can then associate a small icon with each of those items. So we have a stock of icons that you can use to quickly allow your members to denote what those options are. And a lot of this was just an overview. So if you are interested in doing a much deeper dive into the mobile app and learning about all of its features, be sure to check out our upcoming webinars. We are going to be hosting 2 full webinars on the mobile app. So make sure that you register for those, and hopefully we'll see you there.
All right. Thank you, Sam. I'll take over. There have been a couple of questions in the chat that I've noticed from folks that don't quite understand sort of how the mobile app fits into everything. So the mobile app is literally an app that we've built. It's available in the Apple App Store. It's also available in the Google Play Store. So it works on your mobile device, whether it's Apple or Android. We do charge a separate setup fee for the mobile app. It's a one-time fee of $200. And the reason for that is that we build the app separately for each club. So there's one ClubExpress app, but if you go to the App Store or Google Play, you'll see 200 apps within the ClubExpress area because there's a separate app for each club or association. It has your branding, your logo, your color scheme. It will say your club's or association's name on the person's mobile device. When they load the app, you use the same email and password as on the main website. And the app has access to the main website, but it also has its own special functions because, you know, as we all know, everyone's moving to mobile devices right now. I saw a number recently that said that, you know, 97% of adults in the US now have a smartphone. So really, you know, everything is on mobile devices, and we're certainly trying to increase the functionality and, you know, make the mobile devices as friendly as possible and as usable as possible. As I said, we charge a one-time setup fee for the mobile app. We also charge a per download fee. There's a couple of options available there, and that's all described on our website. If you go to our main website and go to the tour page, there's a panel there that talks about the mobile app and how it works. So have a look at it, and certainly check out the webinars that Sam and Devin will be running over the next couple of weeks to learn more about the mobile app. So the next thing that I want to describe is the Task Manager, which is a new module that we've built from scratch. And it's a module that allows any club or association to track tasks or projects. It's specifically designed for those clubs or associations that have facilities. So if you're one of the sportsmen's clubs that we run, sailing or yacht clubs, homeowner associations in particular, some of the big retirement communities that run their resident associations on ClubExpress can use the task manager to manage tasks. It's really like a simple project management system that's built into ClubExpress. It allows you to track projects based on facilities or equipment. If there are problems, members can report them, and every task gets organized by category and subcategory, which you define, location and sublocation, a responsible staff person, priority, and then it can also have subtasks. So, there might be a task that requires multiple steps to accomplish, and you can assign all of these categories and locations and staff people to as many subtasks as you need. Each task also supports attachments. And let's have a look at the task manager right now. So I'm actually on one of our testing clubs. So this is looking at our internal server. And let's click on Club, and here is the task manager. So the task manager is just like that screenshot I showed you before, using our updated standard interface. We expect that some clubs and associations will have a lot of tasks. And so there's a powerful search feature here. Let me just click the search button and we can see a couple of tasks here. I'm actually going to delete this one because we'll recreate it again in a moment. But here are a series of tasks, and there's a landscaping task, for example. When I look at the details, I see the basic information about the task, and we can, of course, edit that information and update it if we need to, and it takes us to this screen. Here's all the basic information plus a general description. Then after that, I can see as many subtasks as I need, and I can create additional subtasks if I want, and these can also be edited. I can see attachments, and I can also write notes about tasks. So each note would be tagged by the date and time the note was created, and also who created the note. And the idea is that people, and all of this, of course, works on mobile devices as well. So if there are things that need to be done, we need the clubhouse painted, the outside, for example. Well, you could break that down into 5 or 6 tasks. Each of them has a responsible person, and as they're done and completed, people write notes, they take photos, they change the status of those tasks. And we can go back here. There will be a whole series of reports. There's a number of configuration settings. Here's where you configure categories. So categories in this case could be landscaping, let's say outdoor maintenance. Let's look at the subcategories for those, lights, plumbing, whatever they happen to be, you just create the categories and subcategories that you need. Same with locations. So if you're one of these large retirement communities and you look at common areas, or a homeowner and condo association, and you look at common areas around the property, you're going to have a ton of locations, and each of those will also have sublocations. So you can really, zero down on where the task needs to be accomplished. There are also responsible staff people, and there are a number of options. One of those options is the ability to allow members to submit issues or problems. So let's call this problem reporting. And here's the text. So let's click Save. Now, assume I'm a member and I want to report a problem. So I go to my profile screen. And under Website Functions, here is the Task Manager. Report a problem. So I have a backed up sync. All right, let's report a new problem. So the new problem is a broken street light. Oh. Broken street light. The category would be maintenance outdoor, and the subcategory is lighting. The location is outdoor facilities, and it's in the front parking lot. Check out the attached photo. Looks like a ball hit it. Okay. So I've now, and I can also do an attachment. Here it is. There we go. And it's an image which I'm just going to select from my local hard disk. And I already have this image sitting here. There is the street light. You can add multiple photos. You can add videos or documents, whatever is appropriate to properly explain the task. So I've now created that. When I go back to the task manager, here is the task that I just created. So as a member, I reported a problem. As an administrator, I'm now looking at that problem. The status is submitted. The priority is not yet defined. I can look at the details. There is the attachments. Let's have a look at that. It's huge. There's the photo. Broken street light, should be pretty obvious what's going on. And I can write notes. Now I can also go in and then start, creating subtasks and managing the task. I can also edit it, change the status. It's been submitted. So yes, it's been approved. We need to fix it. And then, I can proceed from there. Okay, let's get out of that. Anyway, the point is that it's a somewhat simplified task manager, problem reporting, project management system built around the sort of things that clubs and associations that have facilities, that have equipment, and the sort of things that they need to do. This is version 1. So we hope that a number of clubs and associations will start using it. And then you'll come back and tell us, well, we really want you to add this feature or make a slight change here. And, we're planning to do, an update to this module fairly soon once people start using it and they tell us what they need. So this will be an extra cost module once it's deployed. We're planning on charging $20 a month. It's a, fairly specialized module. There's a lot of clubs and associations that won't use it. It's in final testing right now, and it will be deployed in the next couple of weeks. Okay, so a couple of things, some enhancements with various modules. In the event calendar, we've now given you the option where you can resend a registration confirmation email. So if someone says they didn't get the confirmation email and they need to see it, let's go to the event calendar. Sorry, wrong one. Let's go to view mode on the event calendar. There we go. Wrong website. Try that again. Here we go. All right, so here's an event we've created, the general all-member meeting. And, we haven't prettified this one up, showed a lot of details, but here is the admin side of this module, and we can look at registrations. And there is a new icon right here where we can resend the confirmation email. So that's the icon that we've added. If someone tells you they didn't get it, there's the icon to click. The other thing we've done is a lot of you are using the feature where you can now ask members to upload attachments of different kinds as part of their profile screen. And you now have the ability to link and view member attachments to an event registration. This was a feature that another club or association actually paid us to build. So, let's say you're a club involved in mountain biking, and you want to make sure that people have updated their insurance information, for example. And so you can say that we're going to link the insurance information to these kinds of events. And so when people register, we can review and make sure they have updated insurance information. So in this particular example, this is an all-member meeting, but we've enabled the attachments feature, and there's a new option right here. Here is attachments when this feature is enabled. And when you click it, you can see that for Colleen Carter, we've required an insurance card photo. And in this case, it's just a logo. It's not the actual photo, but you can actually look at that, and you can approve it or you can decline it. And if you approve it, it means they have the necessary documentation. If you decline it, they'll get an email to say that there's a problem with that attachment, and they need to update it. Now, the way this works is that it's done on the category level. So if you're a mountain biking club, you're going to have an event category which represents a particular, let's say it's a hazardous activity where there's some danger involved, and so you need insurance cards. In this case, it might be, meets. This was the one that we attached. And here is where you can say linked member attachments. So whatever attachments you've defined that you want to collect for your members, you can move those over and link them to this category of event. Very logical way of doing it. You might have social events where you don't care about insurance, but you also might have mountain biking events where insurance is pretty important. And so these end up being different categories. Okay. Let's go to the resource scheduler. So this is a module that many people use, where they have resources that can be rented out or borrowed by members. Maybe it's a clubhouse and members can reserve a room. And so or maybe it's a swim and tennis club where members can, reserve a tennis court, to play a match every, Tuesday morning, for example. So with the resource scheduler, we now have the ability to define a reminder email that can be sent a certain number of days before the registration. Let's have a look at that. I'm going to go to the control panel. And here is the resource scheduler. And when I click on configure and options, here's the new option, send a reminder email. If I turn that off, turn that back on again, days in advance to send. In this case, it's configured for 3 days, 2 days, 1 day, whatever is appropriate for your organization. So a very simple setting. It's done at the module level. So when you enable this, whoever made the reservation will get a reminder 3 days in advance. Okay. In the blogs module, I won't actually show this one. It's fairly esoteric. We have a number of organizations that are multi-tier organizations where you have a top level with its own website, and then you have independent chapters below the top level that have their own website, their own membership database. People join at the bottom level, but they can also log in at the top level, and we have these really cool features called content syndication that we talked about in our last release. The idea here is that lower level members can be blog authors of a blog at the top level. And that was something we didn't originally support, but we've now added that feature. And then finally on this screen, in the news module, you can now specify a default sort order for news items within a category. And here's just a screenshot from the news options module. What is the article sort order by default? The date active, the date expired, or the headline, which would be an alpha sort. And you can pick the default. Of course, you can also change that for within each news or article category as well. Okay. In classified ads, for those of you using that module, we now have the ability to do multi-photo upload and a high-res image viewer. And there are also new options for how people can respond to a classified ad. They can either respond by email, or they can respond using a standard form that says, I'm interested in this, and here's how you can contact me. And in the e-commerce storefront, we've now added some new settings. You can sort the way products, you can control the way products get sorted, including date added. So here again is a screenshot. Within each category, you can you can sort products by name, by price, up or down, and also by date added. So for example, if you have a bunch of new products, you might want them to appear at the top of the category. So you would say date added, newest to oldest. We also have, and this is for more experienced users, we also have some new query string options that allow you to call the storefront with preloaded filters. So, for example, if you've just added a bunch of new products, you might have a button or a link on the homepage that says, hey, check out all the new products in our clothing category, logo clothing for the club. And when people click that button, they can jump into the storefront and that category will already be selected. Now, the way to see that, the simplest way to see that, I'm just going to open a hyperlink in my browser and take you into the help system. And the way this works is that you can call the storefront and you can add some special options to the query string by specifying &cat and then the category ID numbers separated by commas, or price grouping, or do you want to show specials or digital products only? So you can do all of that. And the categories are actually visible in the display. So if I go to the e-commerce storefront, let's go to the money tab. Here's the storefront. And when I click configure and select product categories, you can see the category ID numbers right here. And those are the numbers that you would actually use. Okay, let's keep going. Some other enhancements. This is one that we actually did about 6 months ago, just after we loaded version 66, just after we announced and deployed version 66. We have this new way of building overall pages, the template, the login widget and the social networking widget and stuff like that. And some people were coming to us and claiming that it was taking significantly longer to display each of those pages. And we did some analysis and found out that that was correct. So we did some re-architecting behind the scenes, and we significantly improved those page load times. And this is something that you wouldn't have noticed unless you'd been there 6-7 months ago, because it's just working a lot better now than it was. We have some new options. I can't actually show you those because we would need to have a credit card defined on these demo clubs, a merchant account. But we have a new option with member types, where you can configure a member type to allow members, when they select that type, to optionally say, I want automatic renewal and payment. Or to say, no, I don't want that. I want to be notified each time when it's time to renew, and I'll log in, I'll renew, maybe I'll select a different option, and then I'll pay. But some members want the ability to say, no, this is the member type I want. I'm going to check the box that says automatic renew and pay, and I won't have to worry about it going forward. Of course, you still have the option to cancel your membership. You always have that option in any kind of automatic renew situation. The other thing we've added for member types is support for proration. So let me show you how that works. When I go to the control panel, people tab, and renewal and expiration settings. So, a lot of you probably configured this page when you first started using ClubExpress and then forgot about it because it's the sort of page that you just don't need to worry about. But there is actually a new option here. If you use rolling renewals based on the join date, well, everyone just renews when it's their anniversary, and we don't have to worry about prorating their membership. But if everyone renews on the same date, let's say that's September the 1st, what do you do if somebody comes along in May? And so we now have this proration option here. Do you want to enable proration? And it's calculated on a daily basis. So if you select yes, let's say it's a $60 membership, and somebody comes along in May, that's May, June, July, August, that's 4 months, 1/3. So the system would automatically calculate $20. Might be slightly more or less depending on when in May, because it's calculated on a daily basis. But the system would calculate how much they own to bring their membership up to the point where they renew on the same date as everyone else. and their expiration date would automatically be, in this case, August 31st at 11:59 p.m. And so that proration option is now available. Okay, a couple of new image file formats that we're supporting. In web graphics, you can now upload WEBP and SVG files. Probably a feature that only the techies among you are really interested in. There is a new help dropdown, which a lot of you have probably noticed when I'm sitting here on a page. And if you sit there for 15 seconds on the page, you'll get a little drop-down menu that appears, pointing you to the help options. We implemented this feature fairly recently, and we gave you a way of turning that feature off. It's on the website tab, and it's under website options. And you'll notice here it's show help pop up on pages, and I actually have turned it off. One of the things we found is that we actually need to fine tune this feature a little bit. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be making it a bit more sophisticated. What we don't want is for every admin to immediately come in and just turn it off, done, finished. So what we might do, for example, and we're still working out the details, is say that when you first come into the website, whether you're a member or an admin, the drop-down will appear, but once you close it, then it will no longer appear. We want people to know that this help option is there, because we've found that a lot of people don't bother looking at the online help system, and they don't bother, checking out the video tutorials. And we really want to encourage people to look at the built-in resources, because we've spent a lot of time and effort, building those resources to make it as easy as possible for you to understand how ClubExpress works. So expect to see some fine-tuning with that feature. So we now have the ability, some of you are using another feature that we've had in ClubExpress, which is virtual membership cards. And the way that feature works is that you can create a card with whatever design you want, send it to us, and then we can install it. And a member, whenever they want to download a virtual membership card, it will dynamically add their name, their member number, their expiration date, maybe their member type. You can, there's about 20 different data elements that can appear on a membership card. So you design it, you tell us where all those elements need to go, and then we have a virtual card. So I'm logged in here as Martin Smith. When I go to my profile, here is the option, download virtual membership card. Now, in the past, you could download the card as a JPEG only. And when I look at the JPEG, here it is, and it's really big, because that's the way JPEGs work. This is the actual size of the card. This is actually suitable, for example, for downloading to your smartphone. And you install it on your smartphone, and now you don't have to worry about a physical card in your wallet. But the problem that we were having was that a lot of people wanted something that they could print out. And so we've just added this option where you can now download the card as a PDF. And when I do that, and slide that over, it now appears actual size. Whoops. Turn around, bring that back again. So it now appears as the actual size. So this one is suitable for actually printing. If you have a color printer at home, if you have kids at home, you might even have a laminator. I know we have one, because my kids are a lot older now, but they used to be in middle school and primary school, and we needed a small laminator. So people can now download the card, print it, laminate it if they want, put it in their wallet. And so that's a new option. Virtual membership cards does carry an additional one-time fee, because we have to install it for you and then configure, if you remember what the card looked like, we have to configure where the name and the expiration date and the member type, in this case, the member number, appears as a barcode if you want that option. So we have to, configure the font, the size of the font, and the exact position, and that takes a little bit of time. So we charge a one-time fee for this, but then, the cards just update automatically when somebody renews their membership. They download a new card, it'll have the correct expiration date. Okie dokie, let's keep going here. Member usernames can now have middle spaces. We actually had a club that came to us that wanted, we had to load their membership database, and all their member names had, their usernames had middle spaces. And they said, no, we have to keep them. We have to retain them. So we changed things around a bit. You obviously still can't have a leading space or a trailing space, because that, you can't see that properly. But middle spaces are now allowed. And the other thing is that attachments, member attachments, now support status on each attachment with multiple versions. So let me show you that feature very quickly. Of course, we have this option here that says member attachments. And here are a number of member attachments that have been defined, and versioning is enabled, for example, on insurance card photos. So when I click this, here is the ability to edit the properties of attachment, and you can see versioning is turned to yes. What that means is that somebody might need to upload multiple cards. If it's a driver's license or an insurance certificate, every year, you're going to want a new upload. And we also have this option now that some of you may not have seen that says, do you want to preserve the multiple versions? And in this case, the preserve option says that once a member doesn't upload, they can't delete it. Only an admin can delete it. Okay, so when I go now to my profile and I look at attachments, here are vehicle images for when I'm chasing the balloon, I guess. And the status, it used to sit up here when you had multiple versions. Now we've moved the status down to the individual versions. And so somebody can view that version, and once they've checked that it's okay, they can approve it or they can decline it. This is really a very powerful feature. We wish more clubs and associations used it. It's just built in. Excuse me. But it allows you to have attachments that are linked to a member's profile. Okay, and I think that was the last slide. So we're almost at 10 before the hour. I guess I'll turn it back to Sam and or Devin to see if there are questions in the chat window that we haven't answered.
Hi, Dan. One question we got right off the bat that I don't recall off the top of my head. Do you know if there is a limit on the number of group members you can message using the group messenger?
There is no limit.
Great.
But if you're using the notifications, I think that's the feature you're talking about, it will go to every member who has downloaded the mobile app.
Right. I think they were talking about just the message sender, not the notifications, just the actual messaging tool within the app.
Is there a limit to the size of a group that you create? Not really, no. I mean, you've got to, check everybody off. But, if you've got, let's say you've got an outdoor club and you're planning an overnight camping and hiking trip, it makes a lot of sense to set up a group make sure everyone downloads the app and logs in, set up a group with all the members who are going on the trip. And then, everybody can stay in communication with each other in terms of preparations and things like that. Maybe one of the features we could add in the future would be the ability to automatically create a group based on event registrations or something like that, a specific event, or automatically create a group based on an interest or a committee. It's something that we want to explore. We're definitely going to continue enhancing the mobile app. It's a powerful tool, and we want to make it as useful as possible, not only for the club or association, but for members as well.
Yeah, and to that point as well, I do want to mention again, the upcoming webinars we have for the next 2 weeks on the following Wednesdays will also be focusing on the mobile app. So if you have configuration questions or how to use them, make sure to tune in there. And we also already have I believe two, maybe one or two training videos focusing on how to configure and use the new updated mobile app as well, plus all of our help tools. So there's all the materials you can want are out there.
Okay, what other questions do we have?
Let's see, gotta go back through the ones we haven't answered yet. There were a few questions about the pricing for the virtual membership card. That hasn't changed, has it, Dan?
No, there are two options. The virtual membership card is a one-time fee of $400 for the standard card. It's a one-time fee of $600 if you want a card that actually has a member photo on it. That's a bit more complex. We have to set that up slightly differently. But if members have uploaded a photo to their personal bio, we can now grab that photo and actually place it dynamically on the card. So if you need, some sort of ID for the virtual membership cards, we can handle that.
And still on the virtual cards, we did have someone ask as well if there's the ability to add QR codes to the cards just yet.
Right now, no. QR codes is something that we've been exploring pretty intensively. There's a whole bunch of places, especially in event registrations, things like that, where we can use QR codes, and so it's something that we're definitely planning to utilize more in the future. I sort of I need to remind people that our internal wish list of things we'd like to do to ClubExpress is about 120 pages long, and each page is 15 or 20 bullets. So there's a lot of stuff there, and I wish we had a development team that was twice as big as the team we have right now, because we could just do so much with them. But it just takes time to get all these features built and added and tested and installed on the platform.
All right, a lot of these are questions that I think are things that we're going to be going over in the next couple webinars as well. So I would just say check out the training videos in those webinars. We have a lot of mobile app questions, but most of them are just configuration. Are you able to, Dan, here's one that I'm not sure off the top of my head. Are you able to delete channels once they've been created and used?
Well, if it's a channel that's based on, well, keep in mind, channels are created by admins, and you can create channels in about 8 or 9 different ways. For example, you can create a channel around an interest group, and anyone who joins that interest group is automatically part of that channel. Anyone who leaves the interest group is automatically removed from the channel. Now, in my profile, since we're still sharing the screen, let me go to my profile as well. And here is the mobile app. Click here to view or change channel memberships. So there are automatic channels in this case, and I'm a member because it's based on additional data, or I'm a member of the committee, or I'm a member of the interest group. Now, if I don't want to participate in that channel, if I don't want to see it, then I can actually hide that channel. So I'm a member of it, but I won't see it, and it'll be hidden there. Members can't create channels. Only admins can do that. But there are also channels. In this case, there aren't any channels that are member opt-in. For example, let me go to the website mobile app manager. I'm going to add a channel here called politics chat. Okay, status will be active. Membership is member opt-in. If you really want to chat about politics. Okay, so I've created that channel, and it's a member opt-in channel. Now when I go to my profile, what I should see, I'm not sure if it updates immediately, but what I should see here is an available channel. It's politics chat, and I have the ability to join the channel, and now it's active for me, but I also have the ability to leave the channel at any time. So again, we have automatic channels by virtue of who you are and what groups you belong to, and we have opt-in channels that you can join if you want to, and you can leave at any time.
All right. And I think I know the answer to this one, but it doesn't tie into blog subscriptions at all, I don't think, correct?
Channels are not connected to blogs.
That's what I thought. And then someone mentioned, are there like social media links to upload pics? I think what they're saying is there a way to like connect to Facebook or Instagram to like sync up pictures from there? I don't think so. I think the easiest way would just be to download the picture on your phone and then upload it onto the chat channel that you're wanting to share
Yes.
that picture.
Yeah, when we don't do syncing right now with Facebook or Twitter within the mobile app. Also definitely something that we should look at. Now, I should correct myself, and maybe if we have time, Sam can show this. But if you're in the mobile app and you're doing either direct messaging or chat, we have the ability for you to link to to upload basically into the direct message a photo from your photo list on your mobile device. So the ClubExpress mobile app will connect to your photo repository, or even videos, I would think. So if you've taken a photo and you want to send it to everybody in your direct message group or a particular chat that you're having, you can absolutely do that.
And we checked with one of our developers, but I believe the size limit for both photos and videos is currently, I think, 12 megabytes, I think was the current limit.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Is it what?
That sounds about right.
Okay.
I know when you attach a photo at least on my iPhone, you have the option to attach small, medium, large, or extra large. So the phone will actually compress the photo before it uploads it. I think the mobile app does that as well because it's built into the OS, but I'm not sure. So you may not get the full high-res photo, but you'll get a very good quality version of it. Maybe that's something we can add to the webinar next week or the week after.
Yeah. And then someone also asked, do channels only pertain to the mobile app? I think pretty much yes. It's just a mobile app feature for channels.
Well, they relate to the mobile app, but you can participate in channels from from the website itself. You don't have to have the mobile app to do chat or direct messaging, I think. Yeah, here I am in my profile, and here's direct messaging. So I can participate in these direct messages. So earlier in the demo, when Sam was talking about the group chats, I was logged in as Martin, and I was replying to Jenny, and you can do that from the website if you don't want to download the app. And here was the group, and also I replied there as well. So yeah, you can absolutely do that from the website, but really the mobile app is the best way to do that. And just since I mentioned it earlier, let me just show people where to learn more about the mobile app. So if you go to our main marketing website, here is the tour, and if you scroll down here is the mobile app. And so there's a whole explanation here about channels, channel-based features, your website and the mobile app. We actually need to update this with the new features because I noticed that direct messaging is not mentioned here, and in-app notifications. So we need to, we'll definitely update this. And there's even a setup page you can go to where you can download the mobile app for the Balloon Club and then actually log in with different IDs and play around with it. And, so you get experience with the mobile app. Okay, I think we're basically on the hour. So, certainly if people have any other questions, don't hesitate to call our customer success team using our toll-free number. And just to recap, here is our toll-free number right here, 866-HELP-CLUB. The webinars that Sam and Devin will be presenting this week and the week after, or the video tutorials that are available on our channel. Wanted to thank everybody for joining us for this webinar. We are continuing to work on new features for ClubExpress. So in the next 4 or 5 months, we're going to have another announcement, version 68 perhaps, with a bunch of new and enhanced features. So thanks everyone, and hopefully we'll see you soon.